Hi, everyone. My name is Kashif. It's truly an honor and a privilege to talk to you today about a topic that is dear to my heart. As part of SAP's customer experience team based out here in Dubai, for me, something that I feel is vital in the day and the age that we are living in is to create personalized experiences for your customers through having a winning mindset and that of customer centricity. Well, Forrester says it best. Forrester says that 2021 will be a year of increased competition and price pressures that we haven't seen before. And it's going to be very tough to stand out and operate in an already difficult economic environment. When you're competing on price alone, any other brand will always be cheaper. If your growth strategy is just to discount your way to growth, then that will only last for a very short period of time. The effects of 2021 will be a year of thin margins, increased operational costs, and inefficiencies that will impact your ability to scale. Price matching won't work. Even if your product is cheaper, a customer won't come to your brand if they have had a bad experience. Staying relevant to your customer is all about the personalized experience when they engage with your brand. And if you only live in a product and price world, you're going to lose relevancy very quickly. And that bad experience is going to impact your bottom line like you've never imagined. So what does a personalized experience actually mean, and why is it so important? Well, every brand is on a path to personalization. Whether the customer engages through email or websites or commerce sites, personalization is based on basic behavioral triggers to take action. And only personalizing one element of the engagement using a single data point, such as a person's name or their gender or email address, is not going to deliver the results you need. Many brands are still only personalizing the engagement for their customers at a basic level. Looking back at the market in 2020 and how engagement and behavior switched so rapidly, basic personalization using a single data point is no longer going to ensure relevancy in today's dynamic market. And more importantly, with today's customer expectations, customers are channel agnostic and engage with a brand through more channels than ever before. Being where your customers are, any channel that they choose or prefer to engage with you or shop, that's what it's all about. It's about being relevant and contextual, and that's where the real value exchange takes place. And that is how we define personalization, a contextual value exchange is how we feel the real impact will be felt. So how do you create a differentiated customer experience for your customers? Personalization is not a one-size-fits-all engagement. Every customer is different, and every customer has unique attributes and behaviors and preferences. So how can a brand personalize for each customer and at scale? Delivering an omni-channel personalization to ensure relevancy to your customer requires using different data sets. By connecting your sales product and bringing customer data into it and bringing back office data as well, along with front office use cases to deliver the experiences customers expect, that's how you deliver personalized experiences. You're asking, why does personalization matter? The impact of a highly personalized omni-channel experience delivers predictable, profitable growth. And in an environment that we are living in right now, having anything that is predictable is highly valued indeed. Personalization is incremental. And knowing who your customers are and engaging with them in a relevant and contextual manner and ensuring their value will drive the loyalty in return. So marketing organizations are facing a lot of channels and challenges. New channels and new use cases has led to an explosion of new technology capabilities. But businesses are saying getting value from these unintegrated pieces of software is getting harder. Integration is one job, but keeping them integrated and up to date is a full-time job in and of itself. And we've seen many IT and marketing teams being completely overwhelmed. To function effectively, the average marketing organization is using up to 91 cloud services. If you look at your own business, to engage with customers, your marketing team will be using a lot of technologies, CRM systems, marketing cloud platforms, websites, CDPs, abandoned cart providers, something to do with AI, of course, and more. All of these have your customer, product, and sales, but you can't use it to its full potential. However, marketing leaders only report using 58% of their marketing stack potential. What does that mean? It means that the problem is not the technology, because every technology is adding value and it delivers. But the problem is over-promising of your software. You may have bought solutions thinking that your team would have the time to leverage them, but another software is another thing for them to manage, train themselves on, and understand. There's a lot of overlap in the different technologies and best-of-breed tech stacks out there. It means that capabilities are repeated, and there's little point for marketers to try to use each solution to its fullest. To reduce IT costs and inefficiencies, many businesses today are shifting to an enterprise-ready integrated solution that allows them to connect their back office to their front office, unlocking the value from their product, their customer information, and their sales data. That's the real key. Well, looking back at 2020, or what we call the Great Acceleration, it was a great acceleration for customers in that the role of the store changed overnight. Customers switched to digital channels, not because they wanted to, because they had to. We all are familiar with the lockdown and the impact that it had on us, or is having on us. Brands were not ready for that shift and couldn't provide the same online and digital experiences they offered in stores. More customers engaged in more digital channels than ever before. In fact, some were buying online for their first time. Now, this translated into new organic growth in terms of customer acquisition. It also meant that customers were only buying from a brand once many times. Due to demand and supply constraints, customers' supply chains couldn't keep up with the customers' demands at that time. Due to ineffective use of customer data, it was really impacting the way the customer experiences were felt. Customers wanted to buy products. They did not want to lose the opportunity to experience what they had experienced earlier, but online. But brands couldn't fulfill these orders, resulting in negative customer experiences and only one-time purchases. 2020's great acceleration in customer behavior and digital channel engagement meant businesses couldn't adapt quickly enough. Fragmented technology ecosystems caused data silos and impacted a brand's ability to effectively use their customer data to be able to move as quickly as the customers did. Many organizations were restructured, which meant that marketing, IT, and operations had less resources and were expected to do much more in a short period of time with limited resources itself. Brands with limited digital infrastructure lost almost 2/4 worth of customers' revenue and profitability. And at the same time, their operational costs increased many-fold. Whilst e-commerce is not as profitable, retail growth has been constantly slowing down in 2020. With increased pressures on revenue and profits, many brands struggled with silos in their organizations between e-commerce and retail teams, when their customer was the same especially. Digitally native brands, both e-commerce and multi-channel retailers who prioritized a customer-first growth strategy gained a competitive advantage. They built a strategy around how to get new customers who buy again and not lose them post-pandemic. That is the key as such. One such customer, AO.com, is an example of a great brand who grew 80% year over year in revenue and 53% profitability in 2020 due to their customer-first data-led strategy. Whilst they only saw 5 years of digital acceleration, they saw 5 years of digital acceleration happen in 5 weeks. This customer behavior is likely to stay. And it is such that things are not the same as they used to be. It's part of the new normal or the next normal, as some of the consulting firms are saying. Prioritizing having the right technology ecosystem is all about making sure that the data set of their customer is used to address peaks in demand and increase digital channel engagement. To be able to give their customers a physical touch point to their brand and their products in 2021, now AO are investing in physical store presences in joint partnership with Tesco in the UK. Things have changed for stores. However, the value of the in-store experience is still pivotal to a customer-first growth strategy, and to be able to engage with customers through any channel via physical, digital, or via call center. So why is personalization so hard to do, and why are brands only using basic personalization to engage with their customers? One of the main reasons is brands are not personalizing for their customers or don't prioritize personalization. It is due to their data management and their inability to connect back office systems with front office use cases. Brands often already have all their data available to them. Or I like to say brands are data rich, but knowledge poor. But it is hard to use it as it resides in different systems. There's no connection or integration between different data points and different technology ecosystems. What their customers are buying, their permission management, data protection, who they are, inventory planning, supply chain, retail teams, e-commerce teams, IT operations, execution. I could go on. All of these data sets reside in different systems with different teams, and there is no single strategy to join all of that information. That's the problem. That's why personalization and customer-centric experiences are hard. When personalization is based on customer first, when it's relevant contextually in the moment, and incentives and rewards are provided for a customer in return for loyalty, then you have the winning combination. 83% of consumers are willing to share their data to create a more personalized experience, and that's from Accenture. All of it is about delivering the right experience. If your customers feel they're getting value from the experience, they're more than happy to interact with you and share the data. And that drives intimacy and loyalty. And that further enhances personalization. It's something that we have to look at as being the most powerful outcome you could have. Intimacy and loyalty will be a revenue generating experience for your company. When personalization is done right, what does it actually look like? And what is the business outcome of doing this? The experience that this brand is delivering across every touch point, that's what it's key. And this is an example that I wanted to show you of a best-in-class organization. It's a $400 million fashion retailer. Loyalty programs are being used effectively to connect with customers in-store and in digital. 80% online and in-store customer identification rate. Emarsys solution from SAP is really providing the customer insights they need to create this integrated information touchpoint across all touchpoints. And personalized advertising and marketing campaigns are being used with the power of Emarsys and SAP's customer experience to really provide a 70% increase in customer lifetime value. That's key. That's what it's all about. So how does Emarsis help brands scale personalization that delivers profitable outcomes for their businesses, but also measure and see the impact of personalization on the business? Emarsis is built with an open architecture, an API allowing businesses to connect data from multiple sources and any digital and physical touchpoints. The platform is then accelerated with actionable industry specific analytics and use cases. Across these 1,500 plus brands, every day we are powering hundreds of millions of personalized interactions and managing billions of customer communications. Our industry-specific solution is built on unique goals, strategies, and tactics each business has. And what delivers profitable growth is our main focus. An industry-specific solution draws upon that wealth of understanding and knowledge of about your industry specifically. So you have an integrated solution that is built for purpose. And so you get more value more quickly than other competitors. To be able to acquire, convert, and retain customers, their experiences have to be seamless. You have to eliminate fragmented experiences. And that's what it takes to create consistency, relevancy throughout the entire journey. That is key. By having your data in the right solution built for your industry, you're able to then engage with the customer over time. Customer engagement is about delivering the right personalized experience to the right customer at the right time, in the right moment, at the right channel, with the appropriate incentive that delivers better business outcomes. That's what it's all about. Top 25% of Emarsis clients on average achieve year-over-year growth. And these numbers speak for themselves. 44% increase in revenue, 42% increase in conversion rates, 42% increase in orders. It's about delivering value when it comes to building loyal, lasting relationships. That's what it's all about. And don't take my word for it. If you look at Forrester's analyst review, you can see over here that we have been rated in the leaders quadrant, both in Gartner and Forrester, and there's a reason for that. Because with the 1,500 plus brands that we work with, we specialize in making sure that every interaction is a personalized and value-driven interaction as such. Thank you so much for your time. I really hope this session was worthwhile, and I really wanted to convey to you how important it is to have a personalized contextual experience. It's not just about a warm and fuzzy experience, which is nice, which is great. It's about delivering value in the end to your customers as well as your internal stakeholders. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your time.